On Thursday, this is prior to the president's comments about anthem protest, Tony visited the Dolphins and spoke to wide receiver Kenny Stills and safety Michael Thomas about this topic.
Opening day 2016, you guys and two other Dolphins made a decision to kneel for the national anthem. Take me back to how that started, what the thought process was.
It started even before that day. That summer, just a bunch of different instances where there were unjust murders of young African Americans, and I want to do something besides, talk on social media about it. Right before the game, we're going out there for the national anthem, going down the tunnel. I see Mr. Ross walking in the locker room.
I asked him why they were doing it, and when you hear the whying and the caring that they have, and knowing how they think they could make a difference and be heard, I think, how can one not really understand that and encourage it?
Well, you knew you had your owner that had your back. What was the reaction from fans that you got?
Everything from, wishing injury upon us, to your ACL, hope your family dies, we hope you die, from death threats.
And friends and family, people that I thought, loved me and respected me, right, and kind of, turned the cold shoulder to me. And a lot of people just didn't really understand what we were doing and why we were doing it. For me, it was more about change than anything, for these instances to continue to happen and no justice to be served. I think within a week we had the town hall meeting where we had law enforcement, we had local high school coaches, people that are involved in the community. Right. Was able to speak with them and talk about what was going on and how we could create some change. And from there, that's where we really got the idea for the ride-along.
Oh! When they actually saw the law officers in uniform coming out to them, and they're not harassing, they're not in trouble, they're not getting arrested or nothing, oh, y'all playing basketball, what's up, they're trying to play basketball with them, they're trying to throw the football with them.
There you go. There you go.
I had a young girl, she was probably 5 or 6 years old, come up to me and she was confused on why we were with the police officers, and she told me, only time the police ever come was to arrest my dad. And that's the opportunity that I had to tell her, hey, you have nothing to fear with the police officers. If you do right, they're not going to come after you.
Now, you guys made a decision this year, first game of the year, you didn't kneel. Tell me what was behind that, what the thought process was.
Yeah, for the most part, my decision not to kneel was just because I felt like it was so divisive and people were missing what we were doing and what we were trying to do.
Before, every time you take a knee, the only question you would get asked is about, are you going to continue to take a knee? What's going on with Kaepernick? Are you mad that he hasn't got a job yet? That'd be the only conversation you had. But now, it's like, okay, you're still giving back to your community in this way. You're still keeping that conversation going without actually protesting. And that's what has to happen.
What'd you take away from your conversation with them?
Dan, I came away feeling these guys are not unpatriotic SOBs. These are guys who care about their community, they care about their country, they want to do something positive. I talked to both guys last night, and they said their teammates were very angry, and they're coming at them, and they said, hey, we've got to keep this cool, we've got to be under control, let's stand together, unified. But they didn't know how it was going to go. I talked to them both this morning, and as of 9 o'clock this morning, everybody was going to stand unified, but they said there was a lot of emotion, a lot of energy, a lot of tension. And it didn't turn out that way.
Well, we saw what happened in the pregame, and then you heard from them postgame about what they decided to do.
I asked Kenny what changed, and he sent me a text. He said, deep down inside, I did not want to allow the president to intimidate us or keep us from using our right to protest. We had a couple of guys kneeling for the first time. We had our teammates all locked arms. We were still all together, and that's powerful.
And you also had the owner on their side as well. Where do we go from here as players, owners, leagues, fans, what?
Well, you saw the piece. Their owner, Stephen Ross, listened to those guys. What's your concerns? And they went forward with a plan and got some things going. Crime rates decreasing because of this ride-along that they had with the police. And that's what we've got to do, go forward. We've got to listen to each other and go forward with a plan to make it better. That's what leaders should do, including, in my opinion, our president.
Well said, Tony.